Hey everybody, how you doing? Yeah, that's good. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Welcome to PHLY Flyers presented by Mortgage CS. Check out mortgagecs.com/PHLY to start your home buying process today. Company NMLS ID number 1464766. Yeah, like I said, I am Bill Matz, and joining me tonight is Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. Charlie O'Connor will be joining us live from the Wells Fargo Center in just a bit. We had our takeover down at the Wells Fargo Center. We've been talking about it for weeks. We were really excited. The last time they played Toronto, it was a really fun, good game. Overtime. Not the case tonight. The Flyers lose 6-2, and it really wasn't that close.
No.
And we got another bad Sam. It was another bad Sam Ersson game.
Not great.
It was rough, to say the least. There's some breakdowns, really, I thought, on the first two goals. Like, make a stop or whatever. Then they get a huge reprieve. It looks like Toronto goes up 3-0. But no, it's waved off on a hand pass, on a coach's
we
challenge.
might have been getting something there.
So, okay, you let in a really, really bad goal, but it doesn't count. We move on. You bounce back. No. Shortly after, it looked like... You ever, you try to catch a ball drunk, and you're like,
all the time.
Ugh, and it just...
Totally.
That's what it looked like, Sam Ersson trying to stop that wrist shot to go for 3-0. And that's really where the game ended. Now, it did look like the Flyers fought back a little in the second. Owen Tippett scores the only goal of the second period.
Nice.
Okay, 3-1 going into the third. They did make a comeback. They did make a comeback the last time they played the Leafs to force overtime. Let's see what they can do. Well, what they did was surrender 2 goals in 8 seconds, and then a third for good measure to fall down 6-1. Tyson Forster gets the shorty at the end to make it look better in the box score, as they said on the broadcast, but
it didn't.
This was simply not a good game. I don't know how in-depth we can really get on this. We were there for the takeover. We watched the first couple of periods, and then I got over here to watch the third. Not much good happened. It's funny because you do look at the box score. You look at the shots. It's 28-27 Flyers. It's 12-12 in the first, 9-7 Flyers in the second, only 8-7 Toronto in the third.
I don't believe that.
It seems tight based on the numbers. I don't remember at any real point thinking, oh, yeah, Flyers are in this.
It didn't feel like it at any point. I remember after the first period kind of taking a look at things. And apparently, Ersson's, I think the Leafs' expected goals were 3. I don't think that Ersson, by the numbers, got shellacked the way that it felt like he was getting shellacked watching it in person. But it definitely wasn't a strong game from him. And it was the second pretty iffy, to be kind about it, game that we've seen from him
in the last 3. No, and it's
making me a little nervous, if I'm being honest.
And we went over the numbers. I believe it was in the last post game. Charlie had tweeted them earlier that morning. His excellent start percentage is right up there with Demko and Hellebuyck. He's when he has 2 or more goals save above expected, it's 65, 70%, somewhere in there, right where those two guys are. But
yeah,
his horrible start percentage is triple what those dudes are. And this is an issue.
And there doesn't be anything in between.
No, that's you add up the numbers and it comes out to 95. So 5% of his games are just average.
Cool.
He's either great or fucking horrible.
Not good.
And listen, a high variance guy, he's a rookie. You see the tools, you see the skill set. You wouldn't be able to amass the amount of wins he has. You wouldn't be able to have those great games that he's had if he wasn't at least good. He didn't have the potential.
Yeah.
But you can't be this high variance and be a starter in the league. I don't care how great you are when you're great. If you don't have your A game, there has to be something. Like I said to Charlie last postgame, C's get degrees, man.
Yes.
Like you have to be average sometimes.
Yes.
You can't be, oh yeah, he needs to come out.
Can't be
like,
A's and F's.
No. I turned to my buddy in the first period. I was like, I think they scored on one of the first shots, one of the first couple of shots. I was like, take him out now.
Yeah.
Like this is it. This is the sign. And they get him through the first period, and Charlie comes back over to the assembly room. Assembly room, pretty cool, by the way.
It's nice.
Nice atmosphere to watch the game. Little tough if you don't get there early and stake out a spot on the railing. Little tough to like see the on ice action.
Yeah.
But just in terms of like for a get together or something, if not everyone in the group maybe is into watching the game, but you have a big enough group, like it's pretty sick. Yeah. But anyway, Charlie comes back over to the assembly room, and we're just bullshitting with everyone who came out and joined us tonight. And then Flyers take the ice for warm-ups before the second, and we're just looking. Like, and yep, it's 32. It's not 33. It's Sandstrom. They've been running him hard.
Yes.
He's been playing a ton, and it is his first full season in the NHL. What, he played like 10 games last year. He might not be ready for this workload.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a learning experience for what it's going to take down the road. That's why we want the players in these games. He just has to be better, though.
I'm trying to remind myself he's a rookie. Never played this many games before. It's just like, it just sucks because you can kind of see where this is going to, like, if this continues this way,
this is why they're going to miss.
This is why they're going to miss, or this is why the playoffs are going to be a complete bust. Like, this is the kind of thing where it doesn't really matter how well the rest of the team plays. If your starting goaltender is going to shit the bed on 1 out of every 2 games that you play, you're not going to get very far. And the Flyers have a lot of tough games coming up, and they need the goaltending to be tight because the rest of the team, particularly the defense, not real great right now.
And that does deserve mentioning. I know we're like piling on Sam Ersson right now. It's just like, bro, you can't be the reason they lose.
No.
Maybe you don't steal them a game.
That's the thing, yeah.
Maybe it's not you who wins it for them. You don't have to shut the other team out every night, but you have to give them a chance.
Yeah.
And that's not what's going on right now.
Nope.
And I know that the coaching staff, they said just the other day, they told Charlie, when a shot is taken, we expect Sam to stop it. And that is how I have felt for most of the season. Yes, he had some clunkers along the way. Absolutely. But for the most part, he has been rock solid. This could not be coming at a worse time.
Yeah. And I just don't, I mean, it's hard to know what it is, right? Like, goalies don't make any sense. They're not like skaters where you could be like, oh, maybe he's hurt or he's just in a slump because he's a goal scorer, whatever. There's just nothing makes any sense. And it's hard to rationalize why this guy that at the start of this season looked so good. And like, obviously it wasn't the backup role. Obviously we still had a number 1 goaltender that was taking most of the starts that we could rely on. But he looked so good.
Yeah.
Like, the tools are there. He can do this.
He's an NHL goaltender.
100%.
He really looks
sure.
like
Yeah.
But like,
that I think we're sure of.
Maybe he's not the answer. Maybe we didn't solve the hole left by Carter Hart like that.
We did not.
Yeah, problem solved. Don't worry about it. Like, maybe that's not the case. He's not the number 1 we're going to win a cup with. But for right now, he needs to at least not suck every other night.
Do you think that this team's going to regret not spending a 5th-round pick or something to get a goalie at the deadline?
No. It might, and by regret, like, will it be the thing that keeps them out of the playoffs after being in a playoff spot for like 101 straight days now or whatever it is? Yeah, that could very well end up being the case. I say no because at least you gathered the information. Like, I'd rather fail with Sam Ersson than Jake Allen be the reason we got into the playoffs.
That's fair.
Like, all right, now we know, like, either Sam is going to learn and get better. He now knows what the grind is. He's going to fix it. He's going to get in better shape. Whatever the problem is, he is going to improve. So this time next year, we're not having this conversation. Or the front office goes, okay, now we know he's not the guy. And that's finding out who isn't and who shouldn't be here is just as important as finding out who should.
That's a
and
good
like,
point.
I'm not like, oh, well, yeah, it's not going to be Ersson. It could. It's goaltending. Alex Lyon has saved 2 teams 2 years in a row. Like, who the hell knows? Like, I thought he was going to be Neil Little. Like, oh yeah, he's going to be the Phantoms goalie forever.
Yeah.
Like, and now he's like a pretty damn good NHL goaltender. You never know. But I think it's important to get the information, even if it comes at the expense of 2 or 3 more losses than you would have had.
Yeah, because it's not supposed to be. It's just so hard when we've been so jazzed for the playoffs.
I was saying to Vince the other day, listen, man, I thought my post-game duties were going to end April 16th.
Yeah.
The end. No more post-games until next October. I don't feel that way anymore, and I'm pretty excited about it, honestly.
Yeah.
And we were like jazzed up, and this was like earlier this week.
I know. It's like such a roller coaster.
It really is.
Next
but I'll
week
tell you,
we could be all the way back there again.
It is fun being on the ride again.
It is.
Like
100%.
I'd much rather this than the games be fake.
Yes.
I would very much, and I am a tear it down guy. If they were to tank for the first overall pick, I would figure out what the hell to talk about on these shows. But
you've done it for 5 years, Bill.
Yeah,
I think it would have been fine.
I mean, last year I just stopped doing them, but around this time I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done. This stinks. But now I'm getting paid to do it, so I'm here. No, but it's it is much more fun doing this than oh man, this team's hard, especially horrible with no direction like they looked for the previous 2 years. It was like, we're bad, and I don't know what the plan is.
There wasn't.
I have no idea if Danny and Jonesy's plan is going to work, but they seem to have one, and that is a huge step in the right direction for them. But it is disheartening for the goalie who we see such good things out of for most of the year be the one letting them down right now.
But you're right, though. I mean, this just could be the trial by fire that he needs to come out on the other side a better goaltender. And then, maybe he gets a full summer of working with the goalie coach or whatever, and then he comes back next season and he looks even better. Like, the tools are there. And when we had Carter Hart, I didn't expect that we needed Ersson, obviously, to use those tools as often as we need them to now. But my thing is it's like the Morgan Frost thing. The tools are there. If the tools are there, they can use the tools.
Yeah.
He's just got to figure it out. And hopefully he does.
Hopefully. And now we bring on Philadelphia's number one hockey beat reporter, Charlie O'Connor. Oh, Charlie, that was not exactly what we were hoping for tonight for our diehards who joined us for the takeover. No, Charlie.
Okay.
Are the girls yelling for Charlie?
Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know why this happens, but sometimes it's just your very first question I can't hear. So I caught literally, and then after that, your sound is perfect the rest of the way. I caught none of that. So I will just give you my general feeling on the game,
Perfect.
Which is they didn't show up to play in the first period, and that includes Sam Ersson as well. The whole team played like crap. I thought the second period, they played pretty well. Good pushback, they make it a game again, and then they do all that work just to repeat the first period and the third period. And you're just kind of like, all right, why why did you boost everyone's expectations by delivering a perfectly solid second period? That's the way they had to play in order to hang with this Toronto team. They were forechecking well. They were attacking the blue paint. They were back-checking, pretty ferociously. That's the kind of game they need to play for 60 minutes. Instead, they played it for 20 minutes. And maybe against the San Jose Sharks, that's enough. Against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who aren't even, in my mind, one of the elite teams this year. They're a playoff team. Maybe they can win a round or two. I'm certainly not expecting them to win the cup. But you can't just play 20 minutes of a good game and expect to beat a good team in Toronto. And they just got a stark reminder of that tonight.
Yeah, they did. It was a beating. I don't even know if 6-2, I don't even know if that properly just demonstrates what happened on the ice for 40 of the 60 minutes tonight, Charlie. But you mentioned Sam Ersson is one of the guys who definitely didn't show up in the first period. Is this just what he is now? Just a high variance guy? He's a rookie. It's his first full year. Like, what is going on with Sam Ersson where, man, if he doesn't have it on the first shot of the game, he don't have it, and they're screwed?
I just think this is part of his development. And because he showed against the Sharks that he can, and he's shown this multiple times this year, that he is fully capable of shaking off bad games and responding with good ones. That he can do that he is not a guy who necessarily turns one bad game into 4 or 5 straight bad games. And that's good. That's a great quality for a goalie to have. The next step in his development is making it so giving up one not great goal doesn't turn into 4 not great goals. Like, that's been his problem. That was his problem against Tampa, and that was his problem tonight, where it wasn't going his way and he just wasn't able to stabilize quick enough to keep the Flyers in the game. Look, it's not helping him that the defense is in shambles. Like, it's not helping. So this isn't all Sam Ersson. Like, it's no coincidence that they've given up 7 goals and 6 goals in 2 of their 4 games since trading Sean Walker. Nick Sealer's been hurt. They're using Ronnie Adder. They're using, like, Mark Stahl functionally is like the number 3 defenseman. So I don't want to be too hard on Ersson because he doesn't have a good blue line core in front of him, even close to a good blue line core in front of him. So it's not all him, but there is absolutely an element here of Ersson needs to get better at turning, like, as a goalie, you're not going to have your best stuff every night. Maybe if you're Dominik Hasek, you usually have your best stuff. But the vast majority of goalies, they're not going to be great every night. Like, I looked at the numbers. We talked about it on the show on Tuesday on the postgame. Like, Connor Hellebuck averages like 70% of his starts are good. 71, 72%. With Ersson, it's been like 65, 66%. Not that far off. Even Connor Hellebuck, probably the best goalie in hockey, 30% of the time doesn't have his best stuff. The difference between Hellebuck and Ersson is that in those 30% of the games, Hellebuck can make them be just like a mediocre start. It's not an awful start. With Ersson, it seems like if he doesn't have his best stuff, which he does have his best stuff a lot, shows that he has a talent, but if he doesn't have his best stuff, he allows games to get out of hand. And that's what he needs to work on. He needs to work on, 5-6 minutes into a game. If he's not quite feeling it, he just needs to find a way to hold down the fort. Like, you're not always going to be great, but you can't be terrible. Tonight and against Tampa, he was terrible. And I don't think he was the only reason why they lost both those games. The team in front of him didn't play well either, but you still do need more from your goalie.
Do you think this could be an issue with the workload? They've been running him hard. He's basically playing every game that isn't a back-to-back. Now, he did get pulled after the first against Tampa, pulled after the first tonight, so maybe he can recharge a little bit. But you said you think it's part of his development. Is it learning the grind as well? Do you think he's tired? Or is it just, hey, man, this is goaltending?
Look, the thing is that this is the perfect topic for a talk show because we have no idea. Like, Sam Ersson was straight up asked that after the game, are you feeling worn down? And of course, he said, no, I feel great. But if he's worn down, he's not going to say he's worn down. Like, no one is ever going to be like, yeah, I'm feeling tired. So because of that, we as talking heads are able to speculate on, is he worn down? Is he just struggling? Is it a little bit of both? Look, he's getting a big workload, to be sure. That said, it's not like they're throwing him in back-to-back games. Obviously, he only played a little bit of the Tampa game. He only played like 10 minutes. Tonight, he only played 1 period. So it's not like I feel like they are, tossing an unmanageable workload onto him. But he's playing a lot of games. He's starting a lot of games. I think it's been like 19 of the last 22 he started. Like, he's playing a lot. He is the Flyers' number 1 goalie, without a doubt. And their number 2, Felix Sandstrom, spent most of the year in the AHL. So his number 2 is basically a number 3. It's a lot to put on a goalie, and it's also a lot to put on a goalie to give him that kind of workload for the first time in the midst of a playoff race, especially during a gauntlet like this when you're playing against good teams basically every night. It's tough. And I am not going to write off Sam Ersson if he struggles over these next couple weeks. This is a really tough spot for him to be in. That said, the Flyers are still in this position, And they don't really have much of a choice other than to hope to God that Sam Ersson can deliver good starts. So, I mean, for the Flyers' sake, I hope he figures it out. But I don't know. Is he tired? Maybe he's worn down. But I can't know that for sure because he's never going to tell you. And goalies can struggle even when they're feeling 100% rested. Goalie's a weird position. So I don't know. And I'm not being flippant about that. Like, I just don't know. I don't think we're going to know until maybe the end of the season if he opens up and is like, yeah, I was a little bit worn down.
Yeah, we saw such good stuff out of him all year, and even when he's had bad starts, he's bounced back. Now, we saw that against the Sharks, but I'm just like, man, every other start can't be a shit show like it was tonight and it has these last couple weeks. I'm just hoping for him he's able to, like, find a second wind or whatever. Charlie, we mentioned the guys playing in front of him. It's not like they did him any favors. And this blue line, like you mentioned, I mean, your 7 all-year Mark Stahl is the 3. Eric Johnson, listen, he's been around forever. He's a good vet. But him and Stahl's ages combined are about 80. Like, they don't exactly.
You're not exaggerating.
Ronnie Attard is clearly not in the plans.
No.
Like, you know.
I don't know if I would agree with that, but
he didn't play until now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they still like him, but you're right in that he's a rookie. Like, he's still Calder eligible. He's 25, I believe.
25, yeah.
Yeah, he's not one of their blue chippers, to be sure.
Like, Emil Andre made this team. Ronnie Attard didn't. And they were drafted several years apart, is all I'm saying here. Like, he's the 8th or 9th on the depth chart. This is what they're dealing with now. Do we have any light at the end of the tunnel with these defense injuries? Have you heard anything other than, oh, yeah, we're going to reevaluate when we reevaluate?
Well, I do think that Nick Seeler will be back at some point. That said, he's still not skating with the team. I did hear between intermission because yesterday they did the team picture at Wells Fargo Center. I did hear that Seeler was on the ice for that. He had a skate on. He was still looking a little bit, limping, but he was able to get his foot in his skate, so that seems like a positive sign. Look, I would be very happy if he could come back at some point next week. Does that seem likely? If I had to bet, I would bet no, because we haven't really seen him skate at all. And usually, like, you're going to have to at least be on the ice for a few days in order to, get yourself back into a rhythm before you come back into a game. So the best case scenario would be if Seeler jumps back on the ice on Monday, because they play in Boston on Saturday. Seeler ain't coming back for that game. Sunday's the Carnival. Monday, they're back on the ice. If Seeler can get back on the ice on Monday, maybe there's a chance he can come back later in the week. If not, I think you're talking about the following week, which means another full week of tough games without Nick Seeler. As for Ristolainen and Drysdale, I mean, I think for them, it's like, can they get back by the end of the year? They ain't the cavalry coming to save the Flyers anytime soon. Neither of them have been skating. They're waiting for, like, the final update on their statuses. So don't expect either of those guys to come running through the door either. Sealer's the only guy who I'm confident will be back at some point, but it doesn't seem like his return's imminent. It's kind of like it's honestly kind of like we all we need. Like, this is what you got to deal with. And I asked Brad Shaw basically, how much of this do you pin on the defense injuries? And he was like, look, he more or less said, I'm not saying we're in a great spot, but we're going to have to figure it out with the guys we have, which is fair. And he basically said, look, we can be better as a 5-man unit. And I think that was more or less saying to the forwards, look, this defense core obviously isn't as good as it was 3, 4, or 6 weeks ago. We all know that. You've traded Walker. Sealer's hurt. Drysdale's hurt. Risso's been out for a while, but, like, this is very clearly a downgrade. But as forwards, you need to pick up the slack. And they showed they could do it. Like, San Jose, whatever. San Jose stinks. Sure, whatever. That Florida game was a blueprint as to how the team has to play on the whole as a 5-man unit to make up for the fact that the defense core is underwhelming. And that was arguably an even more underwhelming D-core, because that was a D-core with Adam Ginning in it rather than Eric Johnson. And, like, I'm not saying Eric Johnson has a ton left in the tank, but I do, like, we're talking about a guy with nearly 1,000 NHL games played, and Adam Ginning, like, might not be an NHL caliber defenseman. So that was a worse defense and they did a damn good job shutting down one of the best teams in the league. So it can be done. It's harder, but it can be done. You just need to play as a cohesive 5-man unit with the forwards back-checking well enough to protect the defense. Against Tampa and then against the Leafs tonight, they did the opposite of that.
I can't believe Erik Johnson doesn't have 1,000 games. He's at 972. That's insane.
Yeah, he's almost there. He's almost there.
He was drafted in 2006. That's insane to me. Anyway, Charlie, the forwards, like you said, I'm not the Sharks game. Way to go. You beat the Sharks. You did what you had to do. You needed the 2 points. That's all well and good. But what am I going to make conclusions out of beating the Sharks? You should. You're better than them. That Florida game, they were excellent. How come we've come on this post game 2 times out of the last 3 games recently and just been like, yeah, the boys didn't have it tonight? Is there something? What's wrong with the forward group? Because it's not like this is a depleted group. It's not like it's an especially young group. There's a lot of veterans on all 4 lines as veterans. What's the matter with them? Why aren't they better right now?
I'm glad you asked that because sorry, Charlie. I wanted to talk about that because we've been talking about the defense and the goaltending, but there are guys on this team that should be scoring goals that aren't. Couturier at one point, I think it was in the second period, had the puck on his stick with a wide open net and passed it for some reason. A lot of guys are making just stupid decisions that I don't really understand. And I'm not sure at what point we start to seriously worry. We're worried about the goaltending, we're worried about the defense, but what's up with the forward core? It's very frustrating.
I just think there are a lot of guys that just aren't playing their best hockey. I mean, that's what it boils down to. I honestly don't think there are so many people on my mentions just screaming about Sean Couturier. I don't think he's been as bad as people seem to think he's been. I still see more than flashes of the old Couturier. I think he's probably worn down. I think that's what's going on here with Couturier, is that they probably overplayed him in the first 2/3 of the year, and now he's wearing down because he didn't play for a year and a half. I really think it's that simple. But I still see flashes of Couturier at his best. I don't think he's cooked by any means. He's there. That said, he's not playing his best hockey. So there's one guy. Okay. Tippett seems like he's kind of coming back around, so that's good.
Yeah.
The Paling line tonight, for the first time in a while, was flat out awful. They were on the ice for 3 goals against. They were real bad. Brink is off and on. Lawton was real good for a while. Last couple of games, he's dipped. Frost had a great game against the Sharks, but he regressed again tonight. Yeah, they just have a lot of guys that aren't playing their best hockey up front. And I think that's what's going on. It's just they've got guys in slumps, and they got key guys in slumps. And it's happening at a bad time because not only are they in a playoff race, they're also playing against a bunch of really good teams. I mean, the one positive I saw out of this game was that, okay, maybe Owen Tippett is starting to get hot again. Yeah. Because now he has goals in his last 2 games. Maybe neither of the goals were holy shit individual efforts. The one was on an amazing pass by Konechny at the game winner on Tuesday. This one, Morgan Frost misses the net and the puck bounces right to him. Neither of these goals are holy shit, man, Tippett's taking over. But maybe they start getting him to feel a little bit better about his game, and then he starts making those kind of plays because they're going to friggin' need him. I am very high on Tyson Forrester's potential. If they are leaning on Tyson Forrester to be one of their best forwards over these next 6 games, they might win one of them. So they need guys like Couturier and Tippett and Konechny, and Frost. They need those guys to be rolling, because if they're not rolling, they're going to keep losing.
Just keep rolling. That's what they say. Go ahead, Kelly.
I'm dying to know what's happening where Charlie is right now. Why are they cheering for you, Charles?
Well, there is a beer league game going on. Someone wearing a Shane Gostisbehere jersey just took a face-off, so that's where we're at.
Love that for them.
That's outstanding. Charlie, the one positive I'm going to say I took away from this is the power play scored again. That's a couple of games in a row where the power play hasn't been horrible. Baby. For them, this is being 90%.
It is.
2 games in a row, fucking
on fire.
Get the parade going. Is it fixed? Did they need 70 games to finally fix it? Is it fixed, Charlie?
No, the power play is not fixed. The power play is not going to get fixed. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I have liked Morgan Frost. They're using him a little bit more in the bumper, and he's actually looked pretty good there. I don't know if that's them unlocking something. Like Frost does lead, and I've been critical of Morgan Frost's power play production over his NHL career. He actually leads the team in power play points this year. Now, granted, that's not a very it's not a difficult thing to do given how few goals they score on the power play, but at least he's producing something. So I have no problem if they want to try to maybe run the power play through him a little bit more and see if that does anything to improve it. No, the power play is not fixed. They scored a couple goals. That's great. Like the goal they scored tonight, Morgan Frost misses the net, the puck bounces off the end boards and goes right to Owen Tippett. Like those are the kind of goals that eventually like a blind squirrel is going to find the whatever. Like it's going to happen.
The nut.
Like they're going to get some lucky bounces. But no, the power play is not fixed. It will probably go on another like massive slump in the next couple games because it's a bad power play, and getting a few bounces does not make it a good power play.
You know, Kimmo Timonen misses the net and it comes out the other side for a wide open goal, and he's a genius. Morgan Frost does it and we rip him for it.
I'm not ripping him for it. I'm just saying it's a bounce. You can't build a successful power play, a sustainably successful power play on getting good bounces. You have to build it on making good plays. Exactly. Not with that attitude.
Do you have anything else, Kelly?
No.
All right. Let's without further ado, let's get to Charlie O'Connor's 3 stars of the game.
Do I really have to give out 3 stars on this game?
You can.
You could do 3 Pearl Jam songs as I requested, but 3 stars is probably what the people want.
Oh boy. Okay, I guess I will do 3 stars. I guess 3rd star I will go with I don't know, Pontus Holmberg. Yeah, he scored a goal. He did things. So yeah, we'll go with Pontus Holmberg. 2nd star, I guess I will go with Tyler Bertuzzi. Strong game. You know, has that nice deflection goal to start things up. Gets an assist on the Logren goal. I thought he had a strong game. And that's the 1st star. Like, I don't think he was dominant statistically in this game, but like Austin Matthews changes the game when he's on the ice.
Yeah, he's so annoying.
He's Toronto's best player. He's one of the best players in the NHL, and the Flyers had no answer for him. Like, you were just waiting for him to get his goal. And I would go so far as to say that there was a chance the Flyers could have come back in this game because they played a good second period. It's 3-1. It's difficult, but it's manageable. You score that first goal to kick off the 3rd period. Suddenly, maybe Toronto starts getting scared. Toronto blew a significant lead the last time these 2 teams played. Now, granted, they won in overtime, but they blew a lead. The Flyers came back and tied that game after being down a significant margin. They were down 3-1. Instead, Austin Matthews, 5 minutes into the 3rd period, just does Austin Matthews things. He lets loose a shot. You know, Travis Sandin, I don't know what the fuck he was doing on that play. Like that was. Did he think he was a left side defenseman again? Was that what happened on that play? Like that was wild. But Austin Matthews still has to be the guy with the fantastic shot who beats the goalie clean, and he did because he's Austin Matthews. And for that reason, he's my 1st star. He was great as usual.
All right, Charlie, I think that's all we got for you tonight, because this was, for a game with 8 goals, it feels like not that much happened. Like, It was just kind of, the Flyers sucked at the end. So we'll talk to you, when are we back? For Saturday postgame, Charlie. We will see you then. Oh, and there's like a pregame and a watch-along, all sorts of stuff going on for Saturday, so make sure you're... And one thing before I go, wanted to thank everybody. I'm sure you guys already did it, but wanted to thank everybody for coming out to the takeover at the Wells Fargo Center in the assembly room. Got to meet a lot of people. Just like actually a few like regular faces. Eric was out there. Met with Spencer and Paul, Owen, Brendan, who's in the Discord. He's a diehard. It was cool. We had a good crowd, and wanted to thank everybody for coming out. It was good to see everybody before the game, in between periods, and I don't know if we'll be doing another one of these this season, but we'll probably be doing more in the future, and it's a good time, so would highly recommend people come out the next time we do a takeover at the Wells Fargo Center. So thanks again for everyone who bought tickets and came out to hang with us. Thank you for joining us, Charlie. Always classy. I don't remember if I thanked anyone or not, so I'm glad you stepped up there, because everyone always thinks I'm rude, and I'm just forgetful. We will talk to you on Saturday, my friend.
All right. Bye, gang.
Before we go any further, I got to catch up a little here. And the first thing, I can't believe it's gone this long without me mentioning them. It's our friends at Mortgage CS. They present this show. They present every show of the PHLY Flyers. And that's one of the reasons I love them. But there are so many. Listen, the spring purchase market, it's almost here and it's heating up quickly. Many clients, especially first-time home buyers, they're reaching out to Mortgage CS because they want to be ready when the rates drop. This is a common strategy. It's what everyone is doing. So that means there's going to be limited inventory and strong demand. So competition will remain extremely fierce throughout the year. So you need to get in touch with Mortgage CS and prepare and ensure you will be able to stand out and make the strongest offers possible. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're looking to refinance, or you just want to know what you have to do to qualify for a mortgage when the time is right for you, Mortgage CS should be a consideration no matter your situation. There are a plethora of mortgage brokers out there. Many of them will promise the best rates and tell you whatever you want to hear to get you to go with them. But the reason you should consider Mortgage CS is they're honest, good people, and always work hard not to let their clients down. You know, I have mentioned many times, so is Charlie. We are both recent home buyers. We are homeowners now. We wish we had Mortgage CS. Kelly Hinkle, you told me right before the show you actually reached out to Mortgage CS.
I did.
And who was on the other end?
In my earnest attempt to patronize every sponsor of this show, I filled out the please contact me form on their website because I had a couple of questions. I'm bored and want to move. And Ben Stucker, CEO of Mortgage CS, called me on the phone. We had a great conversation. He gave me a ton of information, answered my questions honestly, didn't just give me the answers that I wanted to hear, I don't think. And it was great. He was super helpful, super nice. It's not bullshit. If you call that number, you're going to talk to like the guy in charge of the company, which is pretty wild.
You will talk to the people whose names we actually mention in this read. So there's not a reason not to at least consider Mortgage CS and fill out that contact. Like, I got some questions and they will get back to you. Kelly Hinkle is living proof of it. And you don't just have to take it from us. Take a look at their Google reviews. They average 5 stars, and that's the limit. Let's take a look at this most recent one from I think it was 4 or 5 days ago. Reads, Mortgage CS was absolutely fantastic every step of the way. Alec in particular went above and beyond to help us feel confident in our finances and making the right decision for our family. Would highly recommend, and we certainly will use them again if we ever have mortgage needs. And I said this last show, this isn't like, oh yeah, the sandwich place down the block for me, pretty good, I'll probably go back. No, this is like when I need to buy a home again, or I'm going to refinance. I am going, this is a major responsibility. This is a huge deal.
Yes.
And people are telling you I would absolutely go with them again because of the service they provide. And is that not what I've been telling you this whole time about Mortgage CS? So when you hear the word mortgage, think of Mortgage CS. Think of Ben and Alex. Save Ben's telephone number. It's 267-391-7425 to your phone, or email Ben at ben@mortgagecs.com. Call or text anytime, day or night. If you're not in the market right now, talk some Philly sports. Yo, they making the playoffs? Because I was sure they were 2 days ago. Now, I bet you get an answer. So check out mortgagecs.com/PHLY to get started. This advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Mortgage CS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLS-ID number 1464766. Visit mortgagecs.com for more information. And listen, guys, that hot housing market, rates are high. You might just need to chill out a minute. And like, okay, maybe it's not the time right now. And the best way to chill,
you say?
The best way to chill is with an ice cold Coors Light. Whether it's, you're making huge life decisions or you're worried about the Flyers goaltending situation, you're going to be driven nuts by something in this world. We all are. It happens. And there's no better way to chill than with an ice-cold Coors Light. So whether you're freaking out about whatever's going on in the world, you need to find the Blue Mountains in your fridge and enjoy a beer as cold as the Rockies. Because when everything surrounding your favorite hockey team or your life decisions is on fire, sometimes you just got to chill. When you choose to rise above it all, choose chill, choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart. by going to CoorsLight.com/PHLY hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. One thing I wanted to mention, because we said where the takeover was tonight, and obviously it was at the Wells Fargo Center. Now, Kelly, for years we have called it the Farg.
The Farg.
And I said on Twitter the other day, I believe the first time I ever heard that was RG Tree.
Yeah.
But somebody replied to me that you used to call it that on Dan Carcillo's mustache.
Did I? That could be true.
They said it was the first time they ever heard it, and I was like, I don't remember.
I don't remember what I did yesterday, so it's I would trust that person more than I would trust my own memory. So maybe it was me. I'm very important and special.
It's true.
I definitely thought of it. It was definitely me.
And I don't remember how I wanted to lead into this, but while we're discussing Kelly, Pearl Jam, you have the Pearl Jam night tonight. You got the T-shirt at Pearl Jam night.
I did.
They had, the big sellout banner they have. They had that down, I think, at the Broad Street entrance for people to take pictures and stuff. So that was really cool. There was a Pearl Jam cover band. Is it still called the Cure Club? I don't know what that area is anymore.
They call it like the East Food Hall now?
Okay, whatever it's called. After that, though, I don't remember hearing a single. And listen, I am not the biggest Pearl Jam fan, so maybe I missed one.
You didn't.
But Kelly is the biggest Pearl Jam fan I know.
I like them.
Was there any Pearl Jam played during this game?
Not a one. And they did this. They did this last year too during Pearl Jam night. And I was saying earlier, as a joke, but not really, whatever Flyers intern is tasked with listening to this podcast to find out what we're talking about, I need to understand how the Flyers organization interprets the idea of a theme night. Because you were telling me that there was a 2010s theme night or something.
There was,
or 2000s
in Florida, they did a 2000s theme night. But it was
in Florida.
Yeah, and it was, but they played it was just like Sum 41 all night. It was just like pop punk of that era basically played all night, which I'm fine with because that's what I listen to.
So, like, if you're going to make it a whole thing, you're going to bring the banner down from the rafters and put it in the lobby. You're going to make shirts with Gritty on them. You're going to have a cover band that absolutely fucking rocked for like an hour and a half before the show. And then...
Were they good?
They were actually like really good.
Awesome.
They were called the Leadbetters. I'm just going to go ahead and give them a free plug. They were absolutely fucking great. If you like Pearl Jam and they are playing at some bar or whatever cover bands do, I would highly suggest going to see them. Anyway, yeah, just that was the end of the theme. There was not a single Pearl Jam song during the game, which is just so weird to me because it just, you made a whole thing of it.
They've been around a long time. They got a lot of songs. You could play
so many songs.
You could play like just their discography all night and probably not run out of songs.
Oh, not even get close.
Right?
You could just play the songs that people would be like, "Oh yeah, I've heard this. I know that song." Like they have enough of those songs that you could play them and it would be fine. It's just like they did it last time and it's just such a weird thing to me to make a whole ass night and then just like stop.
I want to know what Pearl Jam obviously has this great licensing deal that they do this every year, and like other teams do it too. Like, I wonder how you get in that. They're the band who gets to have a night.
Well, here's the thing: Pearl Jam fans are
hardcore.
Crazy.
Yes.
So, like, if you're a team like the Flyers last season, I kind of assumed this was the thought process. If you're looking to sell some tickets, like, I can promise you that if you give away a Pearl Jam shirt, at least 2,500 random people are going to show up to your event just to collect their T-shirt. So it's a pretty good way to sell some tickets if you want to do that. I don't think the Flyers are having that problem this season.
But I bet when they made the night, they
yeah,
thought
maybe
they
were, yeah. But I mean, like, Pearl Jam has a pretty good history with the city of Philadelphia. They've played a whole lot of shows in this area. The area always turns out for them. It's kind of like a thing. But it's just, if you're going to have a theme night, you got to take it all the way. It's got to be a whole night of excitement.
I agree. I just thought there'd be more, and like I don't care. Like,
No.
I don't particularly care for Pearl Jam, but for the people who do, I would assume they showed up. Like I just saw like random dudes wearing Pearl Jam shirt, and not that one. Like
no.
shirts they got at shows.
You know the don't be the guy that wears the band.
Yeah.
Like Pearl Jam fans are, every Pearl Jam fan is the guy that wears the T-shirt of the band you're going to see go to see them.
I appreciate that.
It's a, like, you know, I'll wear my Chicago shirt to a Philly show so like people know that I'm fucking cool. A bunch of, that kind of dumb shit.
Okay.
But yeah, like there were at least like the whole food hall was packed with people like screaming song lyrics along to a cover band, like just like fully into it. And I wish that they would go all the way because it's just a little less fun when you just kind of like stop.
And that's that.
Yeah. Like, okay, now we're just going to have a regular Flyers game where we play Olivia Rodrigo songs for some reason. Like, it's just, I don't know. Just go the whole way.
They played like several era appropriate songs early in the game where I was like, oh, so maybe it's like Pearl Jam radio.
No.
Like they played, like there was like some Weezer and Sublime and like a couple other like shit you probably heard on, YS, what was it? Y100. Yeah, like along the way.
I would take that.
And then it was, no, it's not even
it's
that.
just the regular playlist.
Before, we'll talk some more hockey for the people who are like, so you're really talking Pearl Jam for 10 minutes? Yeah, because what the fuck do you want us to talk about in that game tonight?
I could keep going if you wanted me to.
But before we do that, I got to tell you about my friends at Foco. Oh, I'm doing it today in just a couple of hours. Paychecks coming in.
Oh, yeah, you're buying your
I'm
velour
getting my
sweatsuit?
velour sweatsuit at Foco.com. Foco has the absolute best officially licensed gear for all sports and fandoms. Whether it's hoodies, jackets, beachwear, or even overalls or velour sweatsuits, there's something for fans for almost every occasion. If you're in the market for some accessories, toys, or collectibles for your man cave, she shitter podcast set, you've got to use Foco for all your team gear needs there as well. Foco always has our back for Philly sports, and they have yours too. Get the best gear around by using the link in the description of the show. For all non-presale items, use the promo code PHLY10. That's PHLY10 for 10% off at Foco today. Get your velour sweatsuits. I'm getting one. Very excited for that.
No Flyers ones yet, though, I understand?
No, they got to get on that. They really need... I realize this is an NFL thing. They put them out for every NFL team. There's a Midnight and a Kelly Green. Eagles, we need an orange, man. I'll buy them in like 3 different sizes.
I would like to dress like an old Italian man at a Flyers game.
Absolutely.
Why can't I?
What else did I? Oh, just the Charlie talking about Sean Couturier.
Yeah.
Just thinking about what the NHL has even been over these last few years. Like he missed basically a year and a half, almost 2 full years. And he's maybe wearing down. They did use him a ton. He was playing up to like 20 minutes a game early in the season. He hasn't played an 80-game season since 2018-19.
Really?
Well, 2019-20.
Oh, right, because of the whole...
Gets shut down.
Yeah,
the following season, he plays 45 games of, I think it was a 56-game season. Then he plays 29 games, gets hurt, misses all of last year, and now he's at 63 games played. Like, this is the most he has played since 1920, and he's going to surpass that probably. He was 26 in 2018-19. He's 31 now. Like maybe he's just on the decline. I'm not willing to say that until like I see him next year. Like this is kind of his get back right season for me, and then we'll see where he is next season.
Well, to be clear, when I mentioned Sean Couturier to Charlie, it was just because that play stood out in my mind.
And he hasn't been very good.
Yeah, like I don't think that he's playing like shit. Like, I don't think he looks like an active detriment to the team. I'm just saying, like, when you have a wide open net and the puck is on your stick, like, just, give it a little fire, a little pass towards the net. Jake Voracek
Give it a little
style.
fire.
Yeah, like, just a little, you don't need to pass it to the guy coming down the middle. But I would like to see him scoring goals.
Yeah,
him
very
and everybody
much.
else. But yeah, I don't see any indication that he's like cooked or dropping off or something. I think he's just tired. And for some reason right now, the entire forward core seems to be just like forgetting how to play hockey. So it's not just him.
And
I blame Rocky, actually.
He hasn't been maybe as bad as some people are making it out.
No.
That said, this is the 29th game Sean Couturier has played in calendar year 2024. He has scored 2 goals.
Oh, that's bad.
That's not good.
Not good.
Like, that's concerning. And the hope is just like he's in a bad stretch right now.
Is
like,
the C a curse? Should we just not have one? We were doing better when we didn't have one.
It seems as if
When has it been good? Like Jason Smith? Like it's never been.
Yeah.
It's never been good.
Jason Smith was a hell of a captain.
He really was.
He really kept that thing together. Like, we need to rebound vengeance now. And we got our vengeance until we played Pittsburgh in the Eastern Conference Final. But do we have anything else to talk about tonight? I don't really know if we do.
Nah.
All right. Before we get out of here, I got to talk to you about joining the diehards, baby. We had a bunch of diehards show up tonight to our takeover, and it was a great time. Of course, really fun. The events are open to everyone. Anyone can just, when we have the takeover events or whatever it might be.
Tailgates.
Yeah, tailgates. Listen, anyone can go, but you get a discount if you're a diehard, and who doesn't love a discount? And that's just one of the many bonuses you get when you become a PHLY diehard. Like it says right here, you get a free shirt. Who doesn't love a free shirt? You also get access to all of the online content at allphly.com. Yes, some of it is for everyone. Some of it is for diehards only. And I mean, it's Charlie O'Connor, man. Why wouldn't you join just to read him? And it's not just him. Look at all of the writers we have here at PHLY. So go to allphly.com. Join up today. Become a diehard. You will not regret it. I have friends, like people who, like my buddy Frankie, showed up tonight.
He did.
He's a friend of mine.
It was nice seeing Frankie.
He's like, shit, I did it. I became a diehard. And honestly, it's worth it. He appreciates it. I bet you will too. Go to allphly.com, become a diehard, get your free shirt. You can join the Discord. I don't hang out in the Discord that much, admittedly. I need to do it more. I should be better.
Mr. Big Time.
But Charlie's in there all the time. I don't know how Charlie does it. He does the shows. He writes about it. And he has conversations in
he's the best
I need
in the
to save it
business,
for
baby.
this. I can't.
I
need to save it, but I got to be better. But you can chat with all the other diehards in the Discord, and you can chat about all the sports with all the other people we have here covering it. Allphly.com. Become a diehard. All right, that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers tonight. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button right here on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY Flyer, PHLY_Flyers, and wherever there are podcasts at PHLY Flyers. All right, my name is Bill Matz. That's Kelly Hinkle. We'll see you Saturday, fam.
We all silly like the mayor.